All right, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to the Monday edition of the Steve Malzberg Show from our New York City studios. And I'm very happy to say that joining us is the one and only Dr. Ben Carson, Republican presidential candidate, also author of A More Perfect Union. Doctor, welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Good to be back with you.
Well, it's been a while, and I think it was right. It was just before you announced. It was while you, a week or so before you told us you'd be announcing or not announcing, and of course you ran. And tell me, I mean, I have to believe you're thrilled with the way things are going.
It is rather amazing how quickly the American people are waking up and resonating with the message. Because I'm trying to get people to realize that this country was made for the people, of, for, and by the people. With the government there simply to facilitate life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, not to rule and dominate our lives.
Well, you're getting the message out. That's absolutely true. Let me ask you. First of all, where are you today?
South Carolina.
All right. Well, let me ask you a few questions, and then we'll go from there. A lot of talk recently about you and Donald Trump, and Trump said he might consider you for the VP. Let me ask you a question. Two questions. A, if he asked you to be his vice presidential, on the ticket, vice president, if he won the nomination, would you consider that? Would you outright know right now that you would say yes? And B, if you were the nominee, would Donald Trump be on your short list?
Well, I think it's a little bit too early to begin that discussion. We have a long time to go, many, many months to see how things play out, see how compatible people are, all those things. So I think it would be probably premature to say right now. But as I've said before, all things are possible.
All things are possible. Okay, so have you talked to Donald besides on the stage at the debate? Have you and him had contact besides that?
Yeah, we see each other from time to time. We live not too far away from each other. He's a very nice man.
Okay, but what I mean, any sit down or phone call for the purpose of talking strategy or politics?
No strategy.
None of that. Okay.
I think our strategy right now, both of us, is to get the message out and to help to wake people up in this country and recognize that the status quo is not getting us where we need to be.
Are you surprised by your success?
Not really, because I've been seeing it for a long time in the places where we go. Before I even announced, I was doing a lot of public speaking. And every place they were having record crowds. The interest was sky high. And it's something that the media tends to underreport. They, for some reason, don't want to acknowledge the kinds of crowds and the things like that. But it doesn't matter to me as long as the people know what's going on.
And let me ask you about yesterday, for instance. You were on CNN. I happened to be watching it, and you were badgered, in my view, with this drone strike. The implication being that you wanted to use drones to kill people coming across the border. Just let's watch a little bit of what was said here.
Dr. Carson,
56% of that border is not under our control.
Okay, but I just want to make sure we button this down. So you're saying that in some instances you would advocate using drone strikes to take out cartels that are bringing migrants across the border? Is that what you're talking about? Wouldn't there be some instances where perhaps innocent people might get killed? Yeah, please. Let's
read my lips.
Let's do it. Let's read
listen very carefully to what I'm saying. I said, there are caves. There are caves that they utilize. Those caves can be eliminated.
All right, before we get to the specifics of that, I mean, to me, you were badgered, and he spent over half the interview asking and re-asking and re-asking the question. And it reminded me, Doctor, I'm sure you'll remember this, of Brianna Keeler on CNN, when she spent the entire interview badgering you over one question of gay rights. I mean, why does it seem that they do this to you?
Because they don't want people to take me seriously. And they're very afraid of my message getting out there because it flies directly in the face of the secular progressive movement. I am a huge threat to them. And therefore, if they can find a kink in the armor and they can concentrate on that, they can get you off of the things that are so important to our nation.
This was, both of these were that I mentioned, the one yesterday and Breonna Keeler, CNN. Do you think that you're speaking specifically of them or the liberal media in general?
Well, the liberal media in general, but certainly the people that you just mentioned are problematic.
Yeah,
but you know what? I don't care, because it's perfectly good examples. For instance, when I made my initial comments about drones and all the media was there, I said, some of you, some of the left wing of you, will take these comments and try to make people think that I want to kill people with drone strikes. I do not want to do that, but you will say that anyway. And they went out and did it.
Yep. Yeah, you mentioned that in the interview yesterday. Absolutely. Let me ask you about the difference between you and Trump, maybe on immigration. He believes that anchor babies born here who are now citizens, as far as I could tell, he believes they have to go out too. Rick Santorum said to me the other day, no, going forward. He believes Congress could pass a law, and that would be going forward, any baby born here, from then on. Do you believe it would be retroactive? Is that what you believe, like Trump, or are you more in Santorum's camp on that?
Well, I think you have to use common sense here. Now, if you're talking about a baby or a minor child, then of course they should go back to wherever they came from with their parents. But if they've reached the age where they can take care of themselves and they wish to stay, then, they should be able to.
Okay, fair enough. Let me ask you also on Donald Trump today came out and said he favors women in combat. Where do you stand on women in combat positions?
Well, I think if the woman is capable of it and you don't have to lower the standards and she wants to do it, absolutely, I don't have any problem with that.
That's the key, though, not lowering the standards, which many have already said, like fire departments all over the country, police departments. That's what happens is they wind up lowering the standards. But you have no problem.
And that's not fair to your colleagues.
Right. Absolutely.
If you need to be carried out of a burning building and the person can't carry you out, that's not a good situation.
No, not at all. Let me ask you this, Joe Biden. Let's jump to the other side for a second. Joe Biden, there's all kinds of talk. He's good to get in. He met with Elizabeth Warren. If you were Joe Biden, would you jump in right now based on what Hillary's going through?
It would seem to be a very good opportunity for him, absolutely. Because I don't think there's any way she's going to wind up being nominated. And, he looks at Bernie Sanders and he recognizes that the guy is a socialist. And even though, some people are excited about him because he represents an alternative to Hillary, I think, when push comes to shove, most Americans, even left-wing Democrats, are not actually socialists.
Would you rather run at this point, if you're the nominee, Doctor, would you rather run against Hillary or Joe Biden today if you had your choice?
Oh, I would much rather run against Hillary.
Because of all the email damage?
Oh, my God, so easy. All you have to do is play the stuff that she's been doing. You don't have to do anything else.
So you said it'd be easy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty easy. All right, now let me also ask you before we let you go, what's next? I mean, you shined in the previous debate by all accounts. You're looking forward to getting up there again, and do you think eventually some people who are at the lower rung should consider getting out?
Well, I'm very much looking forward to the next debate and having an opportunity to really get into some issues. I want to talk about the economy. I want to talk about foreign policy. I want to talk about education. I want to talk about things that are critical, to the survival.
Well, let me ask you, what about the market, the fluctuation in the market? We got 30 seconds.
Well, it is problematic, and it helps to demonstrate the fundamental instability of our market, because we are printing money and we are propping up this fiscal gap, which is humongous. And it will not take that much to destabilize us. And it should make us start focusing on what we need to do to stabilize our foundation.
It's bencarson.com, folks. If you want to help the rising campaign of this great man, bencarson.com. Doctor, look forward to talking to you again, sir. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure. Take care now.
Take care. All right, folks. We're coming back with Roger Stone. Don't go away.